Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's DLloyd. So, man, tough game 5 for the Lakers. I thought for a while that this game would be different and the Lakers will win this game. Then I thought if they won game 5, they will go back to LA game 6. They will win that game and we will be back in Denver for a game 7. Unfortunately, that did not happen. The Lakers led again at halftime, ended up losing the game. Season is now over. They had exit interviews that night, which is somewhat rare. You don't really see that too often in the NBA. And immediately, rumors started circulating about LeBron James' future, about what's going to happen with Darvin Ham. Will he be let go? Will he be retained? A lot of questions started taking place. So let's discuss what I believe is going to happen next with the Lakers and what I think their ideal strategy should be going into the offseason. Because once again, a very important offseason, just like the last few offseasons, because you have LeBron James. LeBron James will be 40 years old in December of this year. So next season, he will turn 40. You're on the clock. But speaking about LeBron James, we had to talk about that first because LeBron James does have a player option. He could opt out and become a free agent. I fully expect that he will opt out of that deal. He will decline the player option. However, I do not think he was going anywhere else. I do think he will end up signing a 2 to 3 year contract extension with the Lakers with a no trade clause. Now, I think the 3rd year is the sticking point right now. The Lakers would like to give up 2. LeBron James would like to get 3. Maybe as a player option. We'll see how that ends up working. But I will expect a 2 to 3 year deal for LeBron James, making max money, of course, and we'll go from there. So I fully expect him coming back. If he did not leave, you will look at what situations would benefit him. And it's really not much, as my Google was talking to me. But anyway, it's really not much. Maybe Philly could make sense for LeBron James. Going back to Cleveland, they talked about maybe doing a trade with Donovan Mitchell. Maybe that could work. But I think realistically, the best location is for LeBron to stay in LA. His family is there. We'll see what happens with Bronny, but he still has his younger son there as well. So, right. So I do think the Lakers is the move ultimately for LeBron. But you know, he always wants to maintain as much leverage as possible. So he's not going to comment on it. He may act like he's going to entertain other teams, but I do expect him to come back. And he has to play a whole summer with Anthony Davis in the Olympics. And AD already said he wants LeBron back, and he is going to do what he can to make sure that that happens. So we definitely have that to look forward to as well. As for Darvin Ham, who will be the next coach of the Lakers, I do not think it will be Darvin Ham. I think the longer this takes, the higher the possibility is that he does return. But I do not plan, at least for me, Darvin Ham returning as head coach. Now, you heard a lot. Stephen A. Smith talked about how it's pretty much a disgrace that people are even talking about Darvin Ham being up for removal, which is crazy to me. Maybe they did not watch the Lakers all season long. He talks about, the playoff series. They were not really expected to win coming into the playoff series, which I fully agree with. The Lakers were not the favorites against the Denver Nuggets. In fact, people at one point discussed should the Lakers purposely lose in the first play-in game so they could try to get the 8th seed, so they could try to avoid Denver. So definitely, this was not the series that made or break what was going to happen with Darvin Ham. It did not help having a 20-point blown lead, not using the timeouts at the end. I do not blame the timeout situation in game 5, right? You had to lose one because Anthony Davis got hurt and you had to sub him back into the game, so you had to use that timeout. You also had the challenge, which they won the challenge. If they knock down that 3 in the corner, I think that is a different situation. But of course, Austin Reeves did not make that 3, so they had no timeouts left. I do not blame that at all. I actually liked that call was challenged. I definitely do like that. So I'm not mad at that at all. But I do think, of course, what happened over the course of the season, mainly what happened in December after that play-in tournament, right, where D'Angelo Russell went cold and Darvin Ham reportedly talked about it to an interviewer saying that, what do you do when players are not making shots? Well, you bench them, which is what he did to D'Angelo Russell. But he was determined to play Cam Reddish for the majority of the season. He was determined to play and start Taurean Prince for the majority of the season. The lineups that we've seen the Lakers throw out there have not worked. They were not great lineups, especially when you had a proven lineup that we seen last year take you to the Western Conference Finals, and to go away from that for seemingly no reason. I think those are the bigger issues as to why Lakers fans are frustrated with Darvin Ham, and why some Lakers players are frustrated with Darvin Ham, saying things like they wish they could be coached. Those, now obviously an anonymous player, we don't know who said that, but those are damning words coming from a player. So I would expect Darvin Ham to lose a job, not really as the scapegoat, but for how things went during the season. But yes, at the end of the day, it's easier and always easier to replace a coach than it is a player. And the Lakers don't have flexibility when it comes to their roster, so they're not going to have a much different roster. So if you're looking for any way to try to improve, coach may be one of the ways there. We will see who's available and who can make the most sense, but I do expect that to take place with the Lakers and go ahead and get a new coach. But as for free agency, of course, don't have a lot of money. We just talked about it before in the last video. I don't want to go over too much, but the D'Angelo Russell situation, very, very sticky, very tough situation, because what is he going to do with that player option? I expect D'Angelo Russell to decline that player option, but with how he played in the playoffs, I'm not sure that value is crazy high. So maybe the Lakers can pull it off when you get back D-Lo for an extended amount of years, but close to that same number where he's getting paid now, and then they can make it work and keep D'Angelo Russell or trade D'Angelo Russell over time if things don't work. That could very well be a possibility. If he does elect to leave and the Lakers can't really do much with it, you can't sign the trade, because if you're a over the I can't think of it right now. If you're over the apron, can't do that, right? So it's going to be tough for the Lakers at that point to do that. Now you're looking at who do they pick in the draft. It's probably going to have to be a point guard at that point, right? So that is really the next main thing. Other than that, the Lakers just don't have a lot of flexibility at all. Taurean Prince, I would assume, will end up coming back. Can you do better with your minimum guys this year? You know, bringing in Wood, Christian Wood, bringing in Cam Reddish. Are you going to swap them out for other minimum type guys? What's the deal? You know, Chris Paul may be available. I don't expect him to play this next season with the Warriors. So does he take the minimum? Who knows? But the Lakers are going to have to get creative. They're going to have to get a little creative. They just don't have flexibility when it comes to that roster. That could be a good or a bad thing, right? Another year with that same team with more defined roles could be a good thing. And maybe with a different coach, that could be a good thing. But this is not a young team. We've seen them get compared to the Timberwolves. It's not the same thing. The Timberwolves are a young team that's getting better every single year. The Lakers are on the back ends of their career, most of them, and they are getting, you know, by definition, a little bit worse every single season. So the Lakers have some tough decisions to make. I think it starts with Darvin Ham. I think he is the guy that needs to go. Not saying he is an awful coach. In this situation, it did not work. He clearly did not know what was the best lineups to throw out there day in and day out. Will that get better season 3? If they did keep him, I would assume yes. Another year with almost the same squad, you would almost have to know who to play at that point. But how do the players feel about that? How do they respect Darvin Ham? Do they just need to hear a different voice at this point because they lost that respect for Darvin Ham? It's probably not the best term to use there, but they're not buying in to the Darvin Ham product at this current point. So I was originally done, but I did want to add this to the video. So I'm throwing this in at the end, and I'm recording this after the fact. The whole Bronny James situation. There are reports saying that the Lakers are willing to draft Bronny James if that is what LeBron James wants. And just really quickly, my opinions on that situation. Now, Bronny James, of course, he has entered his name into the NBA draft, and he also has entered the transfer portal. We have heard that he could be going to Duquesne. We don't know where he will play college basketball if he decides not to go to the NBA. But I think for Bronny, And I think what people have kind of been echoing is that they're looking for the best situation for him to develop as a player. Now, is that in the NBA? Is that in the G League somewhere? Or is that with another college team, right? Because some players and former players are saying that Bronny is the type of player to them that will be better in the NBA because he's already great on the defensive side of the ball. He could develop the offensive game in the NBA rather than in college. Now, if that's the case and Bronny James is in the draft, I fully expect him realistically to be a second round draft pick. Maybe end of the first round if a team desperately wanted LeBron or thought that they could get LeBron by getting Bronny. But realistically, I think he's a second round pick at this current stage. So, with that said, if the Lakers wanted to make something work like that, I wouldn't be 100% against it. I don't think obviously it improves the Lakers in any way. I don't think it really improves the Lakers' chances of keeping LeBron very much because I do think that ultimately he will be back in LA. But if you want to secure it, if you want to just try to do right by one of your best players, I'm not mad if that happens. But I do not think it's a situation where if another team drafts Bronny, LeBron will go play for that team. I just don't think that is the case. I think preferably he will want to play with his son. I just don't think it's that deep where, he will try to override situations to play with his son. So I just want to throw that in there. That's my 2 cents, man. So like I was saying before, let me know what you guys think about the Lakers situation. What do you guys think about Bronny? What do you guys think about Darvin Ham? Do you think LeBron comes back? Let me know all of that good stuff in the comment section below. As usual, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor. Go ahead and leave this video a like. It helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. It's DLloyd. I'm see y'all next time. Peace.